Hello everyone and welcome to the gaming review of the XOLO Q1000 Opus. We'll quickly jump into settings, about phone. So you can see from here it's a Q1000 Opus running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean. We have several games lined up for you. Let's have a look. We have installed all these games and we'll be playing them one by one, starting with Subway Surfers. It's a basic game, although it does become a bit graphically intensive as the game progresses. You can see here that there are no issues with frame rate. The color reproduction as well as the touch response of the display is quite good. There are no issues with frame drops, and you can see that the gameplay is still quite smooth. Moving on, now we'll play Frontline Commando D-Day. It's a more graphically intensive game. Have a look at the gameplay and do keep a lookout for any dropped frames or any frame rate issues. Here too we find that there is no lag. The gameplay is quite smooth. You can see that new elements are being introduced in the scene again. Still, the game does not lag. You can see that there are no frame drops. Here too the touch response is quite adequate. There is no ghosting or freezing of any kind. Next up we are going to play Riptide GP2. Again, it's a faster game with higher frame rates. Let's see how the Q1000 Opus performs here. You do see that the frame rate has decreased here a bit and the game has become a bit jittery. But now the frame rate has again normalized. So there is definitely some jitter, some frame rate issues with this game. You can see that here too. But it's strange that it occurs just sometimes and not throughout the game. Well, that was a look at Riptide GP2. Now we'll move on to Dead Trigger 2. Dead Trigger 2 is a new game in the series. It is more graphically intensive.
I'll take that.
With better gameplay and intuitive control. Here too you can see that there is no issue with graphic detailing. And in this game, there are no frame rate issues as well. Again, the touch response is quite good. The gameplay here too is quite smooth. Now we will play Temple Run 2. Although it's not as graphically intensive as the games we have already played, however, it does get a bit fast as you move along. You can see that there is no lag. The gameplay again is quite smooth here. There are no frame drops. The Video Core 4 graphics engine can certainly play these games. In a short while, we'll see how it performs in high-end gaming as well. To start with, we are going to play MC4. Again, this is as high-end as you can get, with spectacular visuals, great detail. It's a first-person shooter. There are several elements in play here, as you can see. There's smoke. You can see the clouds as well as the overbright of the sun. This game requires very high frame rates, and we see that there is no lag whatsoever. The gameplay is as smooth as can be. Have a look at the gameplay. There were no frame drops and the touch response too is quite smooth. There was no ghosting or freezing in this game as well. Next up, we are going to play a racing game. It's GT Racing 2. It's again a high-end game, and it boasts of real-world experience. We are playing this game in optimal settings. You can see here the detailing. You can see the shadow of the car, the overbright of the sun, shadows and everything. It's quite beautifully crafted. And even then, the phone does not lag even a single bit while playing this game. The accelerometer too works quite fine. The color reproduction of the display is again quite good here. Now we are going to move on to a sports game, that's FIFA 14. FIFA 14 is a new game with new controls which are really intuitive. It's an easy game to play, but it's still quite fun. You can see that there are several elements in play here with several players. The phone does not bog down even a little bit, and the gameplay is really quite smooth. The touch response again is quite excellent. that's a goal. The gameplay indeed was quite smooth. Now let's move on to Nova 3. It's a graphically intensive game and it requires quite a lot of RAM as well. Let's see how the Q1000 Opus performs here. Till now the gameplay is really quite smooth. There are no issues with touch response and the display performs quite well here too. There are no frame delays or frame drops. Have a look at the gameplay. You can see that the controls have now got stuck. This happened once or twice during Nova 3. So there can be a multi-touch issue, especially in gaming. Now let's move on to Asphalt 8. Asphalt 8 is a really graphically intensive game. And you can only play it in low settings or very low settings on the XOLO Q1000 Opus. You can see here that the gameplay is quite smooth. There are no frame rate issues or frame drops whatsoever. The multi-touch issue only manifested in Nova 3 and we didn't find it anywhere else. Here too the touch response is quite good. There is no lack of delay other than the fact that you can't play this game in medium or high settings. The phone does get a bit hot while playing games, especially just below the camera module. It does seem a bit hot to touch as well when you've been playing games for quite a while. Well, that was a gaming review of the Q1000 Opus. We found that the Video Core 4 graphics engine can certainly play high-end games, and obviously apps are movable to the SD card. Therefore, all in all, the phone provides some good gaming experience, but it does get a little bit warmer if you're playing games for a long time, and some multi-touch issues with Nova 3. You can watch its unboxing and benchmarks from right here, as well as a review of the Galaxy S Duos 2. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. This was Abhinav Pathak for Phone Bench, signing off. Have a great day.